Good afternoon, everyone. Today, inshallah, we will continue on the topic of matrices. Today, we will talk about systems of linear equation. This is the second week, and we are with system of equations. This is our first lecture. Of course, as you know, all the course notes, references, and everything, you will find them on Moodle. Also, there is vids in English that you can go through Moodle. Also, the recorded lectures, you will find them. You will find all of them on the playlist, on our playlist, so you can access it on my YouTube. I want you to remember the following. In the previous session, this is the assignment that we solved it together in the second class, and it was really very simple. For the collab part, as I told you, on next Thursday, I'm trying to make arrangement to have a meeting with Dr. Mohammed Saif. Inshallah, it's going to be at 2:30 on next Thursday. So please mark your calendar for this. I'm not going to be here, but I will try as hard as possible for this meeting to happen. It will introduce you to Collab, how to use it, and how to insert the parts of the program in order to check the results, as you can see. For this assignment, we already did 5a times b, which is really very simple, accessible for the multiplication of these two matrices. Then we get the multiplication transpose, and we get the result. Most of you did it very good. Also in Collab, you will be able to try to enter the matrices A and B and to check the results with Collab for this assignment. Once you do it, inshallah, within next Thursday, this is going to be your first task. Okay, I want you to add it to these groups or write the results with you, and we will add it to this assignment later, inshallah. This part, it's related to the quiz that you will have, a part of the quiz. Of course, the problems, you will have them from the data bank, so it is changing. Some of you asked me about these questions, and we did go through it last Wednesday, I believe. I make you saw those questions. I will need you to go to the quizzes and try to solve them, Ali. This is really very important because it's a training, number one. It's a training for you on the questions for the midterms that you will face down the road. Okay, so it's really very important to try them. Okay, and for this year, they have a very good issue. We have a very nice issue that they are opened for you for the whole year. So you can do them once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and the best grades will be given to you. It will be considered for you. Here, he is telling you that A matrix is a square matrix. Which of the following matrices must be anti-symmetric? It's really very simple. All I have to do is to get the transpose of this matrix A. Once you get the difference between them, you will find this is the correct answer. Of course, if you get A plus AT, it's going to lead to symmetric matrix. He's asking you about anti-symmetric or skew-symmetric matrices. So this is the correct answer. You should do it on your own and try it more than once. This is one of the simplest questions that you will find. Okay?
يعني انا دلوقتي مثلا هنا هعمل اي ماتريكس هتبقى سكوير 2 باي 2 واحل السؤال صح كده؟
لا، هو هنا بيقول لك is choose the correct statement. Okay? So mainly I will get a symmetric matrix because he told you here A is a square matrix. Any square matrix, whatever. You can do it by numbers. You need you to choose the right choice. Then get the transpose of this matrix. Okay? Then check if you make the subtraction between the matrix and its transpose, if the result gonna be a symmetric matrix or not. So you will be able to choose if it is skew-symmetric, symmetric matrix or whatever. Okay? I don't want to lose a lot of time, more time, because I have better things to show you, but at least as we said, I can put any numbers for, because he mentioned that it is just only a square matrix. Okay? So I can easily write, if you want to write it as a generalized matrix, I can do that. I can write A, B, C, and D, which means where A, B, C, and D belongs to the set of real numbers. That's a general for a matrix 2 by 2. Okay, get the transpose of this matrix. So I will let this is matrix A. Okay, get A transpose. How to get A transpose? Tell me, Ali. Transpose means that you will change the rows into columns and columns and rows, which means you will have A, B, C, and D. Yes? Okay, let's check. I need to see if it is anti-symmetric matrix. The anti-symmetric matrix, it means if you have A, it will equal to the negative of its A transpose. That's a skew symmetric matrix. If it was a symmetric matrix, you will find A is equal to A transpose. Okay? So now I need to show that if I have A minus AT, what's gonna be? So let's do it. Okay, all I have to do is to put negative sign. So getting A minus A transpose, which is gonna be? That's a new matrix, which is called B. Beta. Okay, A minus A, it's gonna be 0. B minus C, here we go. Okay, C minus B, then D minus D, which is gonna be 0. صح? Okay, remark that I have B minus C and that's C minus B. Okay, for the skew symmetric matrices in general, you will find the elements around, first of all, the elements of the principal diagonal is equal zeros, and the elements of the secondary diagonal or the other elements when I doesn't equal to J, they will be equal to each other but with negative sign. It's really very obvious that I can get this on the form 0, B minus C, which is gonna be take negative as a common, B minus C and the 0. And as you can see, this is a skew symmetric matrix. The principal diagonal element is 0, and these two elements, they have different signs. This is Aij, that's negative, it will equal to the negative of Ajr. So it's a skew symmetric matrix. So that's the correct answer. If you try to go addition, it will give you skew matrix. Symmetric matrix. If you try to multiply A times A transpose, you are not going to have anti-symmetric matrix. If you have A minus 2AT, it's not going to lead to that. So it's really very simple. But for us, I think it's just only to consider either a matrix ABCD or get a specific matrix 2 by 2. So you can state 1, 5, 4, and 6, for example. Get its transpose, then get the difference between them. You will end up having a skew symmetric matrix there. Okay, the second question by the idea. This is the first and last time that I will solve a quiz with you. But I wanted just to crack it with you to make you feel more comfortable. And I have some remarks that I wanted to talk with you about them. For this question, for example, which is also still a very simple question. They are stating that you have A, B, C, and these are matrices of the types, okay, of the dimension. Matrix A is 3 by 1. Matrix B is 2 by 4. Matrix C is 4 by 3. And respectively, knowing that this is a fact that XB equals CA transpose, and which of the following matrices can be X? Matrices do, which one of them is going to be X? It's really very simple. All I have to do is asking you here about the dimension and the condition for multiplication. See how the question is given. So first of all, I have X, which times B. For this to be possible, matrix B dimension is 2 by 4. So matrix X must start with something times 2 for the multiplication to be possible. And the result will be matrix C times A, and then get its transpose. If you remark matrix C, it's 4 times 3. Matrix A, which is 3 times 1, which means it's possible. The multiplication is possible. And the result for this multiplication, if we consider then beta for something, okay, that's the result of this multiplication. The dimension will be 4 times 1. But remember that we are making a transpose of this result. So the result for this matrix, it will be something, but the dimension will be 1 times what? 4. Times 4. And it should equal to x dot b, which is 2 by 4. And for this guy, in order to make the left hand side equal to the right hand side, it must be 1 times 2. So now I'm searching for a matrix where the dimension is 1 times 2. So which one of these matrices is 1 times 2? This matrix is 4 times 1. This matrix is 1 times 2. This matrix is 2 times 1. This matrix is 1 times 4. And so you will be able to choose the correct answer. In this problem in specific, I wanted to show you that although I got the right answer, but when I was trying to choose, something happened. I didn't write them this way, so I chose number C. Also, I know it's 1 and 2. Okay? Which means you will have to consider your choices very good. I've already evaluated, it means 1 and 2. Give yourself more than just a blink of an eye to choose. So put it and review it once more. Ah, that's the correct answer. Of course, it's gonna be 1 times 2. So that's a question just targeting the dimension of and the conditions for multiplication of matrices. It is simple, but still needs you to read the questions very good and to go step by step. One of the questions that usually I'm not very good with them myself, which are the questions targeting which false statement is given. Let's read this question. He is saying to you, Mr. Hazim, consider the matrices A and B. Okay? So whenever you have a then or something, try to take care about or to put this into mind. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. That one is a 2 by 3 matrix, so it's in front of my eyes. He's stating which statement is false, which means from out of these 4 statements, there's just only one false statement. Okay? So we are not searching for the correct statement. We are searching for what? The false statement. Usually this is confusing. And unfortunately you will have more than question with this type. So you have to be careful and to understand the question exactly. Okay. The first one is telling you, Mr. Ali, that 2AB plus I2 doesn't exist. So I need to see if this is possible or not. This is also a question about the dimension, because matrix A is a 2 by 2. Matrix B is a 2 by 3. So their multiplication should have a dimension 2 by 3. And then he is telling you he will add it on I2. I2, it means a 2 by 2. Is this possible? Is this possible in addition? تقدر تجمع ماتريكس 2 في 3 على ماتريكس 2 في 2؟ لا. مش انت عندك الكونديشن بتاع الاديشن. They have to be from the same dimension? Yes. Okay? So it does not, it can't happen. That means this statement is correct. So I'm not going to choose it. Okay? مش ايه؟ مش انا دلوقتي بيقول لي 2 AB plus I2. حلو. الاي 2 الدايمنشن بتاعها ايه؟ هي مين الاي 2؟ يونت ماتريكس. مين هي اليونت ماتريكس؟ 1001. يعني انت الكلنا المفروض عارفين ان لما بقول I2 it means 1001. لو انا بقول I3 it means 100010001 and so on. لو انا بقول I1 it means a matrix just only with number 1. Those are the matrices from different dimensions. Okay, now I'm multiplying A times B. عمار صح؟ أحمد. A times B شكله عامل ازاي؟ ال A dimension 2 by 2. ال B dimension 2 by 3. لما اضرب 2 by 2 في 2 by 3 the result will be 2 by 3. صح؟ طيب ازاي يبقى عندي matrix dimension 2 by 3 and you wanna add it on another matrix with dimension 2 by 2? It's not gonna be possible. صح؟ لأن الاديشن condition ان الماتريسيز they have to be from the same dimension. يبقى إذا the first statement is correct. ليه قلت عليه correct يا علي؟ لأن هو قال لك هنا بص بيقول إيه؟ The matrix 2A plus I2 does not exist. وده صح. مش هختاره. لأن أنا searching for the false statement. This is very very confusing. So if you are acting very fast like me and you try to test this question, you will choose okay. And this is not going to be correct. Because I'm not asking you about the correct questions or the correct statements. But I'm asking about the false statements. Okay, now for the entry 2, 1 of the matrices B transpose times A. How to get the entry 2, 1 from the matrices B transpose times A? محمد بعمل ايه علشان اجيب ده؟ I will get the transpose first, which is gonna be 1, 3, and 5. 2, 4, and 6. That's the B transpose, which is gonna be 3 by 2 يا حازم. 3 rows, 2 columns. Times the A matrix, which is 2 by 2 يا علي. اللي هي 1, 2, 0, negative 1. معايا يا عمر؟ حلو قوي. I need the entry to define the entry 2 and 1. How to get the entry 2 and 1? It means I will get the second row times the first column. So I'm targeting these values. Second row times first column. يا ترى الفاليو دي بكام؟ ده الانتري 2 and 1. Okay, evaluate it. 3 times 1 plus 4 times 2, which is gonna come up to, that means that this statement also is, I'm not gonna choose it. صح؟ بعدين اروح على number D. Is AB doesn't equal to BA? صح كده؟ يبقى الستيتمنت ده مظبوط. طبعا هنا اعرف ازاي ان هو مظبوط ولا لا يا عمر؟ لان لو بصيت اتفضل A times B it will be possible. And the result will be 2 by 3. If you try B times A, it's not even gonna be possible. Because B is 2 times 3. A is 2 by 2. So this is correct also. I'm not gonna choose it. I will have to check this one. Which means you will multiply this matrix in itself. If I multiplied this matrix in itself 1, 0, 2, and negative 1, I believe the result will be 1, 0, 0, and 1. And this is not the right answer. So the correct choice is number C. That's the false statement. Once more, please be careful with these questions, especially when he asks you about the false answer between various statements, because usually you will hunt the correct answer. So you may understand the question very good, but when you choose, you will choose the incorrect answer. Here I wanted to show you this. I've chosen the first one as it is a correct statement. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm actually for the wrong one, so it's going to be number C. The last statement is really very good, or the last problem, it needs an attention. Here he is asking you, we say matrices A and B commute. يعني ايه commute? So I can change them. AB will equal to BA. And that definition we already know from the previous slides. In general, they are not equal to each other because multiplication in matrices is not commutative. But if they commute, I will tell it is, or it's gonna be a commute matrices. So we already know that A and B are commute matrices. Considering this is A, which is 1, 1, 1, 1. And he is stating for you, which is the set of all matrices, أنهي واحدة in general. Okay? That commute with A. مين واحدة في دول to commute with A؟ أعمل إيه؟ أحلها إزاي؟ ها؟ همسك الماتريكس دي علشان تو كوميوت هسمع الكلام. همسك الماتريكس الأولانية أروح قايل لو دي ماتريكس B، لو all of those are matrix B, so I will get A times B and I will get B times A if they are equal to each other. That's the correct choice. مش كده برضو؟ طيب بص كده يا أحمد، لما هاجي آخد دي وأجربها A B B A تطلع كوريكت. أروح مختارها على طول. غلط. لما أجي وأنا عملت كده، لما أجي على دي ده A B C D وأجي أجرب ماتريكس B تايمز A بعدين ماتريكس B A تايمز B هيطلع مش بيساوي بعض. فبالتالي this is not correct. لما اجي على نمبر C واعمل مالتيبليكيشن BA بعدين AB هيطلع الاثنين مالهم؟ بيساووا بعض. طيب جيت على الاخيره طلعت مش بيساووا بعض. يعني معنى ذلك انك لما جيت تعمل AB وعملت BA لقيت كام result is correct. Two of them. Actually, there is just only one correct answer, which is C. طيب ليه first answer is not correct, or it is not the optimal result. It is partially correct. لأنه simply matrix A دي بص يا علي، matrix الأولانية دي اللي هي عبارة عن A and A. الماتريكس اللي قدامي دي is a special case from this one. لأن simply Mr. Ali, I can take A as a common and you will end up having 1 times 1. So actually, once you multiply this matrix times that matrix, it is like multiplying A squared. So it's actually A times A to the power of 2. And of course, any matrix, it will commute with itself. يعني لو عندي matrix A، أي matrix A، جيت أضربها في A، okay, if it is a square matrix, it will be passed from the left or from the right because you are multiplying the same matrix. Okay? So it's a trivial solution. But he asked you about the general case. Here I can take A as a common. As I told you, you will end up having A squared. So this is not going to be a correct answer. But if you remark for this one, this contains the general condition. Because you can't take A as a common factor. Okay? And the matrix will be different than 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's the correct answer for this one. Bottom line, it means you will have to read very well. You have to slow down in your choices. Don't just consider the right answer without testing the rest of them. If you are going to consider the right answer direct from a check or something, okay, just try to be sure or make a recheck if you got time. Do you read me, Ali? Okay, very good. عشان كده أنا حبيت إن أنا أحل معاكم دول. This is why I thought to solve this quiz with you and just only for this time. The next times you will be able to solve them. If you have questions or something, just come back to me, okay? Okay, very good. I made my notes on my notes. Okay, for this lecture, I will go first for definitions. And we are going to go through the link between systems of linear equations and matrices, step by step. Those PDF, I believe this PDF I sent it already for you, for SBE, on the group of WhatsApp. And as I told you, you will find them on Moodle once you have an access. It starts with a very simple slide that states that for any linear equation, what we mean about linear equation, Ya Omar? Linear equations are equations where you have the variables x1, x2, up to xn with no power and there is no multiplication of the unknowns. So it's going to be x1 plus something, x2 plus something, x3. Okay, the unknowns are separate than each other by a plus or minus sign. So that's a linear equation. So it's written linear equation in the variables x up to n. is an equation that can be written on the form where a1 up to an are real numbers, and the b, of course, is also belongs to real numbers. Okay, system of linear equations, it's gonna be like this. So that means I have first equation, second equation, third equation, fourth equation, till I reach how many equations? N equations. In how many unknowns? That's the first unknown, x1. Then I will have x2, then x3, x4, x5, till I reach xn. So actually, this system contains m equations in n unknowns. Okay? This system of equations can be written simply as a matrix, bottom line. I can write it simply as a matrix. This matrix will be simply connecting all the coefficients. Remark, I can get all the coefficients, which are a11, a12, blah, 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 till you reach a1n. And then I will have a21, a22, and so on, up to 2n. And then I will go down till I reach the last equation. The last equation will start with the coefficient an, first column. And then you will have am, second column, and so on, till you reach a of m, the equation number m, and the unknown n. And so the correspondence of the last coefficient is going to be n sub n. Those elements can be multiplied by the column of the unknowns x1, x2, so, till you reach x sub n. And that will equal to the independent values or the result columns, which is, column, which is b1, b2, so on till you reach b sub m. So this system, till you reach b sub m. So actually, if you look to this distribution, you will find the following. That this matrix is simply m equations in n unknowns. And this column contains n unknowns, but in one column. So if you, and for that one, it is n by 1, because it's n rows and just only one column. First of all, the multiplication is possible, because the coefficient matrix, it is simply m by n. The unknown matrix, it is simply n by 1. And the result, and the result matrix will be n by 1. So it's a m rows and in one column. So actually, you have a times x equal b, as you can see. So any system of linear equations can be easily written in a matrix form containing the coefficient matrix, then the unknown column, then the result matrix. That's the main idea of solving any system of equations. Okay? طبعا انا حاولت ان انا بس اسبق شويه بحيث ان انا ادي لك الديفينيشن وبعدين هنشوف في السلايدز بقى مكتوب ازاي. طبعا هنا بيقول لك the elements a, I, j are said to be the coefficients of the system. All of them belongs to R. b, I are said to be the independent terms, okay, that will form these equations. For I equal 1 to m and j for I from 1 to m in order to have the dimension. Thus, these are linear equations because all the unknowns, they have the power of each one of them is equal to 1. This is also x1, x2, x3, okay? And the powers are equal to 1, so both of these equations are linear equations. These are not linear equations because, as you can see, I have x to the power of 2, which means one of the unknowns, its power different than 1. Also, this is not a linear equation because you have a multiplication between two of the unknowns. Those are linear, those are non-linear equations. Okay, this is a system of linear equation, sine by times x, because sine by is a value. Okay, lim e times y, because lim e is also a value. So that's a linear system. This is not a linear system once you have sine of x. So it's not linear also. And also ln y is not a linear system. So now I can have a question like the ones that you saw previously. I will tell you which one of these groups is non-linear. And they will give you 1, 2, 3 alternatives, and one of them is not gonna be linear system. Now you know what we mean about linear system of equations. Okay, very good. Solution set and equivalent systems. What's the meaning of a solution set? For the previous setting, if I have ax equal b, the values of x. So once you multiply them together, will give you the result number, which is b. That's called the solution set. That's the solution column. Let's see how it is written. First of all, that's the system of equations, as I told you. Okay, that's the coefficient matrix, which is A. The x1, x2, x2, x3, x4, that's the xi. Okay? And it's equal to the independent terms, which is b1, b2, b3. If I could find the vector, okay, if I could find the vector of the solution, yani specific values for x1, x2, x3, to make a times x equal to b, this is what we call a solution for the system. So it is said to be a solution of the system F when substituting by xj in the system, and you will have the two sides equal to each other. So we will use the solution set to denote the solution set of a system. يبقى أنا لو شفت S.S, it means the solution set. It's an abbreviation for this. Two systems are said to be equivalent. لو أنا عندي two systems, that's a system of equations and that's another system of equations. The solution is the same. So that means those two systems are equivalent to each other. يعني مثلا اديتك two equations and two unknowns, two equations, two unknowns. السولوشن سيت بتاعت السيستم ده والسولوشن سيت بتاعت السيستم ده. يبقى these two systems are equivalent to each other. Okay? Okay, the classification in general, ودي انت لازم تحفظها خلاص. It is خلاص. حفظت. دي الالترناتيفز المختلفة for a solution of a system of equation. If I have ax equal b, I will have the following. The solution set ممكن تبقى inconsistent system, which means there is no solution. If it happened, it has no solution. لو أنا ما عنديش solution. يعني ما عنديش x1, x2, x3. Once you multiply it, the result will equal to b. It doesn't exist. يبقى في الحالة دي أقول عليه إيه؟ أقول عليه inconsistent system. يبقى definition، يبقى لما تسمع كلمة inconsistent system, it means this system doesn't have a solution. طيب, if it has a solution and a specific number, it will be called consistent if it has at least one a solution. يبقى لما باجي اsolve system of equations, I'm in between either consistent or inconsistent. Consistent, it means there is a solution. Inconsistent, it means there is no solution. From the consistent types of solution, I am between two types of solutions. One of them is called the independent solution. And this will happen for some systems once you have just only one solution. بنطلق عليه unique solution. We say this system has a unique solution with just only one solution. It is the same as independent solution. So just only x1, x2, x3, x4 at this specified value will make the left hand side equal to the right hand side. There is another type of solutions. It's really very important. It's called consistent. So the system has a solution, but it is a dependent solution. What we mean by dependent solution? Infinitely many number of solutions. Once we try to solve the system of equation, Ya Omar, we have three alternatives. Number one, there is no solution, which is inconsistent system. System is wrong. There is something wrong in this system. So it's not gonna, you are not going to be able to solve it. Then I will have a unique solution. The unique solution, it means just only a specific set of values that will make the left hand side equal to the right hand side. بسميه inconsistent independent solution. معايا يا أحمد؟ طيب لو انا I have also a solution where some of the variables depend on the others. بعض من ال variables بتوعك their results will depend on the others. In this case I will call it consistent but dependent because some of them will depend on each other. يبقى that's the main chart that I want you to remember forever. I have either once more consistent or inconsistent. Inconsistent, no solution. Consistent, you will have a solution. The solutions are in between two. Either independent solution, which means a unique solution, or dependent solution, which means it has an infinite number of solutions. The next slide will confirm on this. That's the next slide. Let's consider the following systems. Look at this system. Please look at this system, which states x plus y equal, and the x plus y equal can. It's not gonna be possible to solve this system. This one is really very simple, so it's obvious for any eye to see this equation doesn't exist, or this system doesn't have a solution. How it's gonna be x plus y equals 0 and at the same setting x plus y equal 1. يعني لو انت فاهم كلامي ازاي انزل اقول لك هشتري كوبايه شاي وساندويتش ومش هدفع فلوس، وفي نفس اللحظه هو كوبايه شاي زائد ساندويتش ب 10 جنيه، يبقى ما بتنفعش، صح؟ ازاي الرايت هاند سايد مره بيساوي 0 والرايت هاند سايد مره بيساوي كام؟ بيساوي 1، يبقى doesn't make any sense. يبقى السيستم ده is not correct. طبعا لو انا جيت to solve it زي ما نشوف down the road هتلاقي ان السيستم ده ending up with rubbish. لو انا tried to solve it it's not going to develop a solution. طيب تعالوا بص على السيستم ده. x plus y equal كام؟ and y equal كام؟ معنى ان y equal 1 لو انا عملت substitution هنا ب 1 يعني x equal negative 1, which means this system has a unique solution. A unique solution, y must equal to 1 and the x must equal to negative 1. If I get negative 1 plus 1, the result will be 0. If I put y equal to 1, left hand side equal to right hand side. So that's a unique solution. Or consistent with independent solution. Okay? طيب لو انا جيت ابص for this one, this is x plus y equal to 0. And then I multiply by 2 and give it to you again. Is there any extra information given? No. If you try to solve this equation,